Alright, let's do it.
Okay. Good morning.
I'm tired. Good morning. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The VSC edition, the most dangerous show of the week.
There you go. Hello, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. And kind of nice now that the fog has burned off and probably going to be toasty, but not as hot as most of you all out there, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
Mm-hmm. It'll be toasty for us, but not as hot as it is many places in the country. So I will refrain from complaining. So
we'll complain later off camera.
Right. It's all good. So we have to talk about what we're putting on sale this week. And we weren't sure what to do. Like, some new varieties came in, but we don't have them online yet, so we're not even going to talk about them yet. And they're not the fancy fun stuff. So Liz said, hey, is Ultra Alpaca online? And I said, yeah. And we said, that's, thinking about the knit along for autumn, the worsted weight colorwork sweaters, and
the crochet along could work too.
Yeah, it's true. You could totally use this for granny squares and things. And just getting ready for warmer knits. Ultra Alpaca by Berroco is a super great option, I think. It's a light worsted weight. Like, technically, it's a number 4 worsted weight. It's on the lighter side of it because it is 50% alpaca and 50% wool. I feel like a lot of Berroco's wools and things kind of run on the lighter end. The thinner, by that I mean the thinner end of the categories.
I would say that most of our classic worsted weight yarns that we recommend for people
are on the lighter end.
Are on they're in the 419, 420 or not 4. 219, 220 yards per 100 grams, whereas like Encore, which is pretty
is
decent,
only 200.
Is 200. Yeah. So,
like the Ultra Wool Chunky, which is not on sale this week, is the thinner end of chunky.
Yeah.
Like this is, we've had people, one of our crocheters, she did some granny square type things out of Ultra Alpaca and Cascade 220, and the ones out of Ultra Alpaca came out smaller, same hook. So it's a little thinner, it's got to play around with gauge potentially, but it's so soft, like the alpaca in it. I think it's a great blend because the alpaca makes it soft, the wool gives it structure so you can make like sweaters out of it without it growing under its own weight, which is really great. Like the thing I pulled to show off, I'm making a sweater with colorwork at home that's stalled out, my polyrhythm, but this is a gymongous fun one. This is an Andrea Mowry pattern, Honey Moss, I believe is the name. Mm-hmm. And I want to say this took 3 or so. I have to go check the yardage, but the whole beginning part of it is like it's an asymmetrical, starts down here. It is cables, so it shows that this shows off cables, honeycomb cables really well, and then it has lace work at the bottom, so it can show that this yarn can, like, this has been blocked, so but the lace work, all that kind of leafy looking lace work, I think it's a really great example. I never know how to wear asymmetrical shawls. It's like...
And that one's kind of a big one, too.
It's a big, huge one. So wearing it like this is kind of like... That kind of works, but after a while, this could get awkward. Or wearing it around the back. I mean, this is like a swaddle up when it's cold outside type of thing. But asymmetrical means, like, one arm's going to hang out. So... But I think this is just a great example of stitch definition with this yarn. It's fuzzy, but not too fuzzy. So, like, you still can do cables and lace work and other things with it. And what I love about the Ultra Alpaca is a bunch of these colors, not all of them, but a lot of them are also kind of heathered. Like, this is the peat mossy something or other, and... By heathered, I mean there's fleckies. It's a balanced fleckiness, but there's more than one color. Like, it's not flat. There are a few colors that are flat. I'm going to dismiss this call coming in. And, but it's kind of fun. We'll try to, there's a ton of colors too. So Liz is going to read stats. She has pulled the color that I knit with. not all of these might have the colors on the names.
Yeah.
On the labels, I mean. They have fun names online, but not all of them. We might have some numbers here instead of names, but we'll figure it out. So, I'm a little tired today because we jokingly called today Wednesday Death Day. Because we have such a long day on Tuesday. We have, like, it's our Monday. And then we have sit and stitch, which we love, but it just makes for a really long day, which means Wednesday, we feel it.
Wednesday Death Day normally starts when we're heading home from work, but it started early for both of us.
It started on the way
today.
in for us today. So I was going to go to the grocery store on the way home. I think I'm just going to go home and collapse. Anyway, let's talk about this lovely yarn. Go ahead, Liz.
Berroco Ultra Alpaca is 50% superfine alpaca and 50% Peruvian wool. So roving gangs of sheep. You get
mixed with yummy soft alpaca.
You get 219 yards per 100 grams. They're recommending a US 8 needle or 5 millimeter and an H hook 5 millimeter. Hand wash, lay flat to dry.
Yes, this is not something you want to throw in the washing machine. Alpaca does not felt the same way that wool does, but it may not survive very well if it ends up in the washing machine.
The wool is still going to try and felt. So.
And the alpaca will try to felt too. It just won't do it as consistently as the wool does. Yep. So, so this, like, if you were trying to felt, you could use this, but I've heard, like, interesting, like the guard hairs and other things, like this little white guy. That's like a guard hair of the alpaca. That can complicate felting. So you could buy this to say, oh, it's not superwash, so I can do crazy things with it, and it might not work the same as 100% wool. That's all. Just a heads up. I don't felt, so I don't have advice on that. I'm not an expert. But can I steal your phone to look up the honey moss and see how many skeins it might have taken me to make this?
Yes.
While we talk colors. So does that color have a name on it? I'm having her multitask.
Does.
Is it the peat mix or something?
Pea soup.
Pea soup. No, the peat one is the green, is the darker green. Pea soup. Like, think about this. This is kind of the color of dark pea soup.
It looks like pea soup.
Okay.
It's got even the little yellow flecks from the carrots.
Like the heatheriness in it. It's got like a little bit of mustard yellow in it. It's this lovely, like, not quite olivey green. Like, it's got that almost grello look to it without being overwhelming. So, Honey Moss by Andrea Mowry. And it says 985 to 1,000 yards. It might have taken me 5. Like, yeah. It might have taken me 4 or 5 to make this. It's really big. And I now I'm remembering, like, it might have been actually 5 skeins of this yarn, potentially.
Or like, into a fifth.
Exactly. Into the fifth. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Like, this is big. This is, like, almost sweater quantities worth of the Ultra Alpaca. Did we say what we're retailing them for?
We are retailing them for, $15.75.
What, does one of them have?
These two need to be re-stickered.
What? Let me see. Oh my, we're gonna have to check them. It is $15.75. We're gonna. That's another fun task to do today, to check them all to make sure they have the right price on them. Anyway, so. And we have a bunch of dyed, and then we have some natural ones. The natural ones will be even softer, and they will be in some of the tones that alpacas come in. So, where do you want to start? You want to stick here? I'm going to do the other green, just to have the greens done. Just roll with me on this. My train of thought is going to be all over the place. I've already done like 3 different things in the shop this morning that were unrelated to this. This is the peat mix. This is what I was thinking of this is the pea soup, right? Is it called pea soup?
It's pea soup.
It is.
It looks more like a grass or pea color. And the peat mix looks hunter.
The peat mix, yes, it's very much hunter. There's still little flecks of yellow in it, but not as much. But it's much more of a blue-green, like darker green, like think of peat moss, like earthy, super deep earthy. And it's just pretty. Like, we had someone email this morning about doing the mountain mist hat. Not hat, the sweater. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a fun day. I'm waiting for my coffee to kick in. The Mountain Mist, the sweater version of all the hats we have, and part of me would want to make it with this being
The bottom.
the bottom body part, and then have some blues up until.
Ooh.
And we don't have like the picture of the Mountain Mist hat. I'm gonna keep calling it the hat because I've made the hat so many times. The Mountain Mist sweater has a really light blue for the sky, and we have that in. Actually, I don't even think we have it in stock anymore. We had that in the whatchamahoozy, the Lily Kate Makes Axis. See, we've got some different blues. We've got this one. We've got a bright one, super bright one. We don't have like the sky part of it. That would be the most challenging if we wanted to keep everything. We have all these blues. Look at this, so many options, but we don't have a good sky blue.
Yeah, you gotta use the regular.
We might have to use the natural or the denim or I don't even know. But now I'm tempted to put a sweater together with this.
Of course.
Or it could just be a cloudy day
That's why I
on
was
the Blue
like,
Ridge Mountains and be like, yeah. Anyway, so
Pete.
I like green, so I would do this as the body. Although I already have a green sweater in the shop, so I don't know. I might just make one out of Cascade 220, but I'm already making a sweater. Decisions are hard when you're trying to have balance in the shop. I'm going to put this one right there. Okay. Where do you want to go?
Let's go through blues. We've already got blues going. This one is Starry Night 62193, and it's a denim. It's a denim blue, but it's a heathered. So like there's little lighter flecks.
That's the closest to like a classic blue, I think, that we have in the shop. And yeah, and then the darker one that you've got there, that's the berry pie, right?
Blueberry mix.
Blueberry. Berry pie is... I'm going to confuse you all so much today.
Blueberry mix is 6288, and it is blue with purple heathered in.
And kind of pinky purple, too.
Yeah.
Like, that one...
It's hard to see on
If there's anyone who doesn't really like a raspberry pink... There's just the slightest hint of a purpley raspberry pink in that. And so I think it's gorgeous, but not everyone, that might not float everyone's boat. If you're like, I'll just make them a dark blue sweater. Be forewarned that there's some brighter undertones in this one. So
this one is 6243. It's navy. Just navy.
That's one of the flat colors.
Yeah.
So we have a handful. Let's put the flat colors over here. We've got a flat navy, and while we're at it, this one it says winter white on it. It's like a natural color, and I'm using the winter white. This is 6201. I'm using the winter white or natural with the navy for my polyrhythm, and it's gorgeous. It's just absolutely gorgeous. This is like the neon version of the blueberry. It is called Cobalt Mix. If we put it next to that, it is much brighter blue, but it's got that heatheriness of that raspberry pink in it too. So it is a bright, it's like an ultramarine blue, basically. It's almost neon, but not quite, and it's got some of that purpley raspberry.
It's like if blue was related to the perky that was Lorna's Lace's purple.
Yeah, right.
This is 62186 Caribbean mix, and it's teal. I'd say it's a heathered teal, but like the Starry Night, where it's almost tone on tone instead of.
It's like a nice tealy turquoisey.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely like aqua.
Yeah.
Like all those words come together in the Caribbean mix. Think about like how intense the water is in the Caribbean. I have not actually been there myself, but this is what
that
I imagine it looks
tony,
like. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. This is Cerulean mix. And the Cerulean mix, it's really intriguing because it's got some pink in it too, but it is not quite as bright and poppin' as the other ones. And this is more of, it's like, it's not sky blue. What's the blue I'm looking for? Like it's a dirtier color in a way. Like it's not as bright and popping as the others. It's not quite a slate blue. Like it's really interesting with all its heatheriness in there.
It's hard to describe it.
It's really hard to describe, and it's got like almost rainbow undertones to it, but it's really, really subtle. And it's a beautiful color, but I wouldn't necessarily use it for sky. So that's why I'm struggling with what to do for the Mountain Mist sweater. Anyway.
This one is 62171, and it's berry pie mix.
That's the one I was thinking of. Like, see, these guys are like reverse of each other. Like,
so this one is blue with bits of this, and this one is pink with bits of that.
It's like raspberry deep, luscious, purpley pink with little hints of... So those guys, I mean, that would make a wonderful color work anything. Yeah. But they are the opposite of each other, really. Which is why the blueberry mix I mistook for the berry pie, because they are the opposite of each other. Anyway.
6280 is mahogany mix.
That one's really pretty too.
And it
really is a mahogany, like cinnamony brown.
Yes. There's yellows,
almost kind of red, and yellow heathers in it.
Yeah.
Which is really pretty. Okay.
That's
so give me this one. These two kind of complement each other too.
Yeah.
Like this is Grove mix. Like, think of a grove of oranges, and it's like a creamsicle, but it's got little flecks of both kind of a yellowy and a little bit of the pink. And is that
this
the grapefruit?
one's grapefruit mix, and it's a pink with the bits of the yellowy orange.
So these are the citrusy Grove and grapefruit, and that pink is really is just gorgeous, because it's not like it's a corally pink. It's really great. That just went off camera, but you know, the yellow that's in almost everything when we keep saying yellow really is this one's called Dijon, and it's flat. Like, it's fuzzy, but it doesn't really have the heathery. But this is the yellow. It's like Dijon mustard. It really is. But the yellow that's heathery in a lot of these ones that we've been saying. It's flecks of this color in it. So I put this over with the solids.
6234 is cardinal. It's red. It's my happy place.
You've made a sweater
flat.
Out of that.
Yes.
It's really a nice red too. It's like... It's a little more of a purpley red, but not in an overwhelming way. Rather than a tomato really orangey
It's what
red.
I think of when I think of red.
There you go.
Like, it's not tomato, it's not purple, it's red.
Okay. Just in between the reds. This is black. It's called pitch black. It's I haven't been saying color numbers, but 6245. It's just black. And it's a lovely non-heathery black. I like it. I put it with the solids.
62121 is Merlot, and it's a purpley wine.
It's a nice purpley, winey, burgundy, whatever.
Yes.
And it's more of a solid
flat.
as well. It's with a flat. It's not heathery. It could be if you, like, squint really hard. But it's more one of the solid ones.
This one doesn't have a name.
That one's nickel, and it doesn't have a name because they phased it out. We might only have one or two skeins of it, but I know it's named nickel.
62107, it's a flat elephant gray.
It's a flat elephant gray, and what we have is what we have, and there is no more of this color. So if you like a flat elephant gray, we have one or two skeins left, period. Let's not do the naturals yet.
I was just...
There should be... Yep, there's 4. Okay. This is the gray that has remained in their repertoire. This one's called Moonshadow, and it's a light silver gray. It's like kind of like the elephant gray, but it is heathery. But it's a nice light heathery gray. I like it.
6207 is salt and pepper, and we have a darker one in between black and this.
We might be. It might be back ordered.
No, it's all the way over on the other
Sorry.
side.
Oh, look, there's this one too. I was sitting on, like, my elbow was on some of these. Sorry. I'm gonna have a day. This is charcoal mix. 6289 is charcoal mix. So usually charcoal gray. What, you want me to do this one?
The black.
Oh, yeah. Usually charcoal, like, this is charcoal gray. What I think of when I think of charcoal, but the charcoal mix is the off black. So there's our range. And what's the one that I would call charcoal? It's called salt and pepper.
Yeah.
It's more of a classic charcoal gray. The charcoal mix is really, really dark. It's like the anthracite in the juniper moon.
Black,
and then
off black, charcoal, and gray.
Yep. But they have different names. But I think they might all be in almost the same picture online. If they're all there. If there's any of these colors you don't see online, we brought in new colors and forgot to photograph them and let us know, and we'll try to get them up online. Before we get to the naturals, we have 4 of. I missed one, and this is like the brighter version of the berry pie, but it is called Orchid. And honestly, it's more of a flat. It's like that raspberry, that deep raspberry fuchsia pink, but it's more of a flat color. So I'd put it over here, the Orchid over here. The ones that say mix are the ones that they consider more of a heather. They use the word mix instead of heather. We say heathered. And most, except for this one, all of the naturals are kind of have a heathery look to them. This is spelt. I think they're all named after like wheats or grains or things, which wheat is a grain. Anyway, spelt is kind of more of not honey yellow, but like a honey brown, super light brown. This is the warmest, I feel like, of the natural ones. And it's
like a light teddy bear brown.
Yeah, there it's spelt.
I don't have color number or names. I just have 62501. It is a warm gray.
Yeah, I can't remember which one
like,
that one is.
This is our regular gray. It's a warmer.
It's a warmer. The natural one is a warmer one. This is 62503 Pharaoh. Farro. Not spelled like the Pharaoh in Egypt, but it's kind of a warm but gray-brown. It's hard to describe.
This one is 62502.
You just got all the ones without the names on.
And
they have names online.
It's gray with a brown hue. So
Yeah.
that's brown with a gray hue, and this is gray with a brown hue.
All the naturals are on the warm side. They're like kind of gray browns, but they're on the warm side instead of the cool side. So I guess alpacas are warm. Hee hee. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
We have our wall of Ultra Alpaca here. There's lots of colors. Contact us if you don't see them online or if we might be running low. And 15% off with the code Product of the Week by the time I get it all set up. And we need to go get the shop open and I get through the day and then I'm going to go take a nap. So.
Yeah, I concur.
All right. We will talk to y'all soon. Stay safe. Good to see ya. Bye.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff.
If you have questions for Dear Becky and Lizzie, email
Liz at sundragonartandfiber.com.
Okay.
Bye.